Good day, everyone. Welcome to the third dimension. Our topic for today is how do you test cement on site? As a site engineer or as a supervisor, what tests do you have to do on cement when it arrives on site? It wouldn't be wrong to say that cement is the most important and a vital material in the construction process. It has one of the highest price tags in the bill of quantities, and the strength and stability of the structure that you're making is most dependent on the cement that is going to be used. So you have to make sure that the right kind of cement is ordered, stored, and then used. So let's get started. At number one, we have the manufacturing date test. Well, when cement is manufactured, the more time passes by, it naturally loses strength. So we have to make sure that after the manufacturing date, the cement is used within 90 days. So the first date test says that the manufactured cement has to be used within 90 days after its manufacturing date. That's number one. At number two, we have the color test. The color, when you're inspecting the color of cement on site, it should naturally have a consistent light gray color. And there should be a greenish shade to it. So a light gray consistent color with a greenish shade. And any kind of uneven color are signs of lime content, are signs of improper lime content or the degree of burning. So you have to make sure that it has a consistent light gray color to it with a greenish shade. And there shouldn't be any uneven colors within the mixture or within the cement bag. And at number three, we have the lump test. Well, when you're inspecting cement and you put your hand inside, there shouldn't be any lumps in the powder. So lumps automatically means that the cement bag is in contact or it has contacted some sort of moisture. Lumps means moisture. So when you're inspecting cement, the third test says that there shouldn't be any lumps inside. It should be a complete smooth powder. At number four, we have the odor test. Smell of the cement, naturally cement is odorless. It has no smell. So when you're smelling a bag of cement on site, it is odorless. It has no natural smell to it. But then in cases in which there's an earthly smell from the bag, so that means that excess amount of clay or unneeded amount of clay or sand is added. So the fourth test says that when you're smelling cement powder on site, it should be odorless. That's how it naturally is. And number five, we have the float test. When you throw or when you put cement onto the water, it should naturally float for a small amount of time. So cement naturally floats, which also tells us that the density of cement is less than the density of water because an object would only float when its density is less. So naturally cement powder is going to float when thrown into water. That's the fifth test. And at number six, we have the smoothness test. So you put your hand inside the cement powder and you rub it between your fingers, and you should feel and there should be a smooth feeling within your fingers. So, which again, that smooth feeling is clearly going to tell us that any sort of adulteration in the cement is not done. So that smoothness of cement is an indication that it's a healthy mix and there's no adulteration to it. So that's the sixth test, the smoothness test, in which you rub cement powder between your fingers and you should feel smooth. That's how the powder is. That's how it should be. At number seven, we have the temperature test. Will you submerge your hand inside the cement powder, and you should feel, your hand should feel a low temperature within the powder, within the cement powder. So you should feel a cold. You get my point, right? When you submerge your hand inside, the powder should be cold, and that's how it is naturally, and when it's unreactive. But when you submerge your hand and there's some sort of warmness inside, which means that the hydration process of the cement has begun. So again, that's unusable cement if you feel any sort of heat when you submerge your hand inside the powder. So the seventh test tells us that when you submerge your hand, the powder should be cold. It should naturally be cold. That's the seventh test. And then finally, we have the compressive strength test. This is the last test, and in fact, the most important one. You know, the previous tests, they can be done on raw powder form, but the last test you would have to make concrete out of the cement powder. So you make a block of cement of 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 and by 200 long, and then you immerse that block into water for 7 days, and then you apply a load of 34 newtons. And the load applied should be 150 apart from any edge. So during that test, the block should not break or rupture. That's at number 8, the compressive strength test. So these were 8 tests on cement powder which you can do on site as a civil engineer or as a site supervisor, and you could make sure that the cement which you have ordered or which you have stored is healthy, usable, and it hasn't reacted and it's not adulterated in any sort of way. So stay tuned with us till the next video, and have a good day. Thank you.